Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back again for the stock pick of the day video. We are going to take a look at a subscriber's suggestions today. Life of, I think that's Guy commented, have you ever looked at Ferrari race, ticker RACE? So that is what we're going to take a look at today, Ferrari. And if you haven't checked out that video, that was a comment made on my video that I did 2 weeks ago, it looks like, Taiwan Semiconductors. Go ahead and check that out. That's on the channel. If you want to see what I think about Taiwan Semiconductor there, check out that video. And really appreciate the suggestion. If you have any suggestions, any stocks you'd like me to take a look at, companies you'd like me to take a look at in the stock pick of the day series, drop them down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community, building a community of like-minded dividend growth investors so we can share our experiences, stocks like Race, Ferrari here, that we may be looking to buy or are interested in. Let's jump right into the video and not waste any more of your time. And if you want to know more about this company, or you happen to be in the market for a new Ferrari, check them out at www.ferrari.com. And you're probably familiar, this is one of the most recognized brands in the world. Ferrari is obviously a car manufacturer, a custom car manufacturer. They only release so many of these a year. They are handmade, is my understanding. Born of the spirit of racing, Ferrari epitomizes the power of a lifelong passion and the beauty of limitless human achievement, creating timeless icons for a changing world. Here are some of their cars that they have out. They also have a racing series. They also have apparel as well. I didn't put that up here, but if you like Ferrari apparel, they do, have some men and women's clothing line, handbags, that sort of thing, toys even, model cars to match the car that you're going to buy if you're in the market for a Ferrari. I am not. I recommend you put your money in investments rather than buying pretty cars, but that's just my opinion. Let's keep rolling. And the reason we are taking a look at them, down on the day, 0.41%, not a huge drop on the day, but a drop nonetheless. And this was as of about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they may have, climbed back up or went down lower by the time you see this video, but they were down whenever I take a look at them. So I figured we would cover Ferrari, ticker RACE. This is out of the industrial sector. $368.13 as of the time of the recording here. 52-week range as low as $209.88, as high as $369.91. So they are right up against their 52-week high here. Average volume 321,000. Today was 203. Very volatile overall, at least today. Market cap of $66.495 billion. A beta of 0.98. So they are just slightly less volatile than the overall market. PE ratio, price to earnings on this one is $51.85 per share. Very high. Though this is one of those companies that, the nature of the company being a higher end company, I feel like this is another one that always trades at a premium. But obviously you can see this range, right? 52-week range as low as 209, as high as 369. So anytime you can get this one closer to its 52-week low or on a pullback, I would not recommend paying a $51.85 per each dollar of earnings that they have here. That is extremely high. This is would be in line with like a tech company for like a Microsoft, and even that would be high in my opinion. Earnings per share, EPS, sitting at $7.10 per share. No earnings date on this one listed. For dividend is $2. They are an annual payer. We'll see that here in a minute. So that is just $2. They pay out $2 a share one time a year. Very low starting dividend yield on this one, 0.54%. They have not been paying very long. I believe they started back in 2016. We'll see that here in a minute as well. Ex-dividend date was April 24th. They paid out in May, so you would have to wait till their next. If you bought them now, you would be in line for their next dividend, but it would be quite a wait, right? I think the ex-dividend date again is going to be around that April timeframe in 2024 with a payout in May. So you'd be waiting quite a while for this one. That's one of the things I don't like about it. Only an annual payer here. One time a year you're going to get a dividend. 1 year target estimate at $350.24. So at least according to Yahoo Finance, they see this one as potentially overvalued currently at $368.13. Now let's jump into the statistics, look at dividend yield theory. To do that, we drop down, we go to their 5-year dividend yield average of 0.64. We look at its current 0.54. They call it forward, right? Forward dividend yield. And since it is lower, that speaks to some overvaluation. So not only does Yahoo Finance see them as potentially overvalued, dividend yield theory says they are potentially overvalued as well. And they do have a low payout ratio, 27.89%. So a lot of room to increase this dividend, and they need to. That's a very, very low dividend yield, 0.54%. They're not going to be adding a whole lot to your portfolio in terms of dividends. Really, if you're buying this one, you're probably buying it for the growth of the stock price, which again, it looks like it's a little bit overvalued right now. Now, you want to get into the financials of any company if you're interested in buying individual companies. If you are not interested in doing this kind of research, really just stick to ETFs and index funds. Buy a S&P 500 index fund or ETF. VU would be one. VTI would be the total stock market. VU is the S&P 500. Buy something like that where you don't have to do any research. Set it and forget it and just dump money into it. Dollar cost average into it every week, every month, every 2 weeks, whatever it is that your investing timeline is. But if you are interested in individual companies, make sure you're looking at the financials of them. Good information here, balance sheet, income statement. You can see if their revenue is growing over time. What do their margins look like? Are they increasing their margins? Are they paying down debt? What do their debt to equity ratios look like? What does their cost of capital look like? All that is good information. Are they buying back shares? What are their free cash flow? And that is what we are going to look at, free cash flow. To have growing dividends, which you want as a dividend growth investor, you need growing free cash flow because dividends are paid out of free cash flow. And if they are growing their free cash flow, they are typically growing their dividends as well. 2019 here, $600 million in free cash flow. 2020, big drop down to $129 million. This was probably COVID related. Not a lot of people buying cars if you can't drive around anywhere. 2021 back up to $545 million. 2022 jump up to $598 million, and it looks like to date 2023 $757 million. So overall, 2019 to date, they are growing their free cash flow. They are also consistently repurchasing their own shares as well. Now, I always recommend more than one source. Stockanalysis.com was the previous page. Stockanalysis.com is another one that I like. You pick any sources that you like. Just make sure that you're looking at more than one so you can make sure the information you are getting is accurate and up to date. Here we have 8 stock analysts that have taken a look at this. They call it a consensus buy. I feel like this one is a little overvalued myself, but of these 8 people, they call it a consensus buy. They have a low estimate of $260, and it would be a much better price back here at this $260, which would be a 29.32% decrease from where it currently sits. Average estimate of $322.08. Even this would be a better price than where it currently sits, right up against their 52-week high. That would be a 12.23% decrease. And if it happened to hit their high, that would be the only way you'd see any upside on this one. That would be $375, and that would be a 1.94% increase. All the while, you could collect that minute 0.5% dividend yield. So again, this one needs to pull back significantly for me to be interested. And to be honest, I'm just not interested in the company personally. It's a niche market. A lot of other car companies out there that are probably better values right now than Ferrari, in my opinion. But I want to go through this. It was a recommendation by a subscriber. So let's keep rolling through this. Return on equity. I like 10% return on equity and 10% return on invested capital or better. 43% return on equity on this smokes what I'm looking for. 22.45% return on invested capital smokes the 10% I'm looking for. Very good numbers overall. Again, the only thing I don't like about this one is the valuation. Well, 2 things I don't like about this. The valuation currently, I feel like it's overvalued, and the dividend yield is extremely low, much lower than anything I'm looking for. But hopefully it has some dividend growth. We'll see that here in a minute. I like earnings per share growth, 5% or better. It's at 12.29%, and revenue growth is forecasted to grow at 9.29%. So again, very good numbers overall for the company. I just feel like it's overvalued, and obviously if you get it cheaper, you could get a higher dividend yield, but right now, not much of a dividend yield to speak of. And speaking of dividends, as we said, annual payer, very low payout ratio, 28.14%. I think we saw 27% on Yahoo Finance. Either way, under 30%. Very, very low payout ratio. A lot of room to increase the dividend. And they are extremely aggressive dividend growth on this one, 35.81%. So that is one of the benefits of this one. If you could get this cheap enough and they maintain this dividend growth, this could be a very high dividend growth for your portfolio, but only paying out once a year. So keep that in mind. Went back to 2016. This is when they started paying out a dividend, 51 cents and some fractions of a penny. 2017 up to 68 cents. 2018, and it is all in April that they're raising these. 2018, 86 cents. 2019, $1.15. 2020, $1.22. Looks like in 2021 they actually did have a decrease in their dividend down to $1.04, but then right back to the growth in 2022, $1.46, and most recently April 2023, $1.99 and some fractions of a penny. So short of the hiccup in 2021, which may be COVID related, very nice, very fast dividend growth on this one, though it is, again, only an annual payer. So you're only going to get one payout a year on this one. This is the vested interest stock screener. This is how I set up the videos. It's also how I look at a company on a high level myself to see if I'm interested in investing. It must meet 5 of 8. If it's a financial company, I throw in price to book. 1 or lower is undervalued, 1 being fairly valued, anything over 1 being overvalued. And then it must meet 6 of 9. Well, that is it for this one. Let me know what you think of Ferrari. Do you drive a Ferrari? I would be interested to know how many people watch this channel that drive a Ferrari. I'm going to guess none of you. But hey, kudos to you if you do. Maybe you've got one in your garage that you tool around in. I do not. I'm not looking to jump into a Ferrari. Like I said, I would recommend that you get some money in your investment account that would be equal to a Ferrari long before you ever think of buying a Ferrari. If you ever do, I feel like they're overvalued status symbols in my opinion. But hey, if you like them, that's, everyone has different tastes. Some people, prefer to save their money. Some people like to buy shiny, fancy things to impress people that really don't care about them in the long run. But it's, it's your money. You do what you want with it. As always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community. Hit that notification bell as well so you're notified whenever we put out any new content. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. This was a suggestion by a subscriber. So if you have a company you'd like me to cover in the Stock Pick of the Day series, and this was from 2 weeks ago, so drop it down below. I'll work it in at some point. Don't worry. I just have other videos in my list here that I want to get through as well. Plus, I wait for a stock to pull back on a day. So sometimes whenever you guys make a suggestion, the stock goes on a run for 3 or 4 days and you feel like I'm not getting to it. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I just have other suggestions as well as stocks that I'm looking at as well as waiting for it to pull back. So drop your suggestions down below. Let me know what you think. And again, let me know what you think of Ferrari, ticker RACE, out of the industrial sector. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk. You can't lose money, so never invest any amount when you're comfortable losing. Always do your own research. Invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice counsel of a certified financial advisor.